Hey everybody, I'm Owen Finch here, and I'm going to be giving you a tier list of every single Backlash main event that's ever happened. I'm doing this video solo because no one was available to do this video, and I figured I'd do this solo since Backlash is tomorrow afternoon. It really wouldn't make sense to hold off doing this video any longer, so I figured I would just get this done. I probably will finish this fairly quicker since it's just me doing the video. But, I figured I'd try this out. If me doing the tier list by myself doesn't work, then I won't do it anymore. But, yeah, let's just get started with this. And let's just kind of talk about Backlash a little bit, kind of like my feelings towards it. Because Backlash has been a pay-per-view ever since 1999. And obviously it hasn't been going on the whole time. I believe they took a break from the pay-per-view from 2010 to 2015, and then they brought it back in 2016. And then, yeah, they've done one every year other than 2019. They just didn't do it that year. And I've always enjoyed Backlash as a pay-per-view. I've always kind of liked that it's taking place after WrestleMania every year because, it kind of makes sense because it's, following WrestleMania season, and you kind of want to know what the aftermath of it's going to be. So Backlash, I always thought was a very fitting name for it. I don't think it's always taking place, like, immediately after WrestleMania. I think there was 2016, it took place in the fall. Like, it was right after the draft. It was like the first SmackDown pay-per-view after the draft, so that was kind of last minute. And then when it, going through the later 2010s, it wouldn't be immediately the next pay-per-view, but it would always be SmackDown's next pay-per-view. So that's kind of how it works. And I always kind of thought Backlash was either kind of, a direct follow-up to WrestleMania, or it was always kind of a make-up to WrestleMania, because they would always kind of get the main event of WrestleMania very on, or a certain part of WrestleMania on, and Backlash would kind of be a way to fix that. So I always kind of enjoyed that about Backlash. And yeah, we'll just kind of go through how I'm going to rank each of these main events, because I have a way to rank the tier list for main events and everything like that. But kind of what I went with how I'm gonna rank how good these were before I kind of go through each tier is I'll kind of rank how good the match actually was, kind of the significance of the match a little bit, and kind of talking about, like, when you kind of think of a main event, you also have to think if it was the right main event. Because sometimes there were years where something will main event a pay-per-view, and it ends up being a very bad choice. So that's kind of what I went with when it came to my criteria, ranking these ranking these main events anyways. So I think I just get started, but going through each tier, we're going to have Hall of Fame, which means, like, it breaks the tier. It's just that fantastic that it's Hall of Fame. Great. Same thing, kind of, except it's not scale breaking. Good. Like, it's a good match, but really, it's not very significant or anything like that. Average, it's just kind of middle of the road. And trash, it's complete and other dog shit. So yeah, we're just gonna go through each main event of Backlash, and I'll just kind of talk about each one of them. So going through the first one, this is from WWF Backlash, 1999. Now, I might have my history wrong on this, but I kind of forgot to look this up ahead of time. But I believe this was kind of the last pay-per-view under the In Your House name, because obviously every pay-per-view would be In Your House Backlash or In Your House Fatal 4-Way or whatever. I believe Backlash was the last one of that, everything would just be a regular name of a pay-per-view, so that's pretty significant. The main event of this show was a Anything Goes match for the WWF Championship. WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defending against The Rock with the special guest referee Shane McMahon. I did a retro for this last year, so I won't kind of talk about too much of it. I'll just kind of, I'll try to remember to link the retro. I'll pin it in the comments or something like that. But yeah, this is a hell of a main event. I really think this blows the WrestleMania match that year completely away, just because the WrestleMania match was good, but it wasn't anything, like, fantastic. But they added a lot to this match here. They did some really good stage brawling and everything like that, where The Rock and Austin put each other through the sets and everything like that. There's a lot of funny moments in the match, like when The Rock grabs the camera and he's basically talking smack to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin, like when the Rock turns to the crowd, and then when he turns to him, he flips to the bird and gives him the stunner, which was really cool. And both, they kind of made it both look like either of these guys could have won the match. They added the stipulation in, where like if Stone Cold Steve Austin put his hands on Shane McMahon, he would be disqualified. I really like that. I didn't really like that stipulation too much. I thought it was kind of stupid, considering the fact that it's a no holds barred match anyway, so it just doesn't really make sense. But whatever. And then they had the bit at the end where Vince McMahon comes in, and he kind of helped Stone Cold Steve Austin win, because they were kind of doing the whole Ministry of Darkness versus Vince McMahon angle, like who the higher power was, and rather not say where that ended, because when you know how that ends, it doesn't really make sense. But for the moment, it was fine. And then obviously Austin wins. But it was kind of a good match for The Rock, and it was just truly a really fantastic match. The crowd was very into this match, which really helped the match a lot. So I really like this match a lot. And I'm not gonna end the main event there because I feel like we have to kind of make this part of the main event. Sometimes the main event at the time would be to hook people to want to watch Raw the next day because they had the Monday Night Wars going on, and they wanted to make sure to leave that cliffhanger at the end of the pay-per-view. So at the end, we have the bit where The Undertaker abducts Stephanie McMahon, and the best part about it is like Vince doesn't even know that it's going on, even though it was on the screen, but whatever. So it really hooks people to kind of wonder what's going to happen on Raw the next day. So I'm going to put the Backlash 1999 main event into the Hall of Fame category. I think it's truly an awesome match, and it really kind of was the first true great Austin Rock match that happened in their careers. So I'm gonna put Austin and Rock in the Hall of Fame category. Then we have the Backlash 2000 main event, which is another WWF Championship match. It's WWF Champion Triple H versus not Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let me do that again. Sorry, I say Stone Cold because he's like in the thin. So let me repeat that. So it's WWF Championship match, WWF Champion Triple H versus The Rock. And the reason I said Stone Cold is because, obviously the build-up to this match was pretty much the McMahon-Helmsley regime stacking the deck against The Rock. They had Shane McMahon be the special guest referee. They had Vince McMahon in Triple H's corner. And they also had Stephanie McMahon out there, who was kind of running some interference and everything like that. But Linda McMahon kind of threw in a counter offer talking about, how Stone Cold Steve Austin would be in The Rock's corner. And they spent the whole show building up that Stone Cold wasn't going to be there, which they did a very good job setting up and everything like that. And the match is just awesome. It's kind of just everybody at their best, where pretty much the whole match is stacking the deck against The Rock. They have Shane McMahon do things where he just doesn't count, or he'll act like he's distracted, so that way Vince or Stephanie can interfere. And The Rock does a good job for a little while, even in the odds. He rock bottoms Triple H and Shane through the announcers table. And he kind of gets the best of Vince for a little bit, but then at the end he just finally gets outnumbered, where he just gets beaten down by the McMahon-Helmsley regime again and again, which leads to the great moment where Stone Cold Steve Austin finally does come out, and one of the biggest crowd pops you've probably ever heard when he does come out, and he just really evens the odds, smashes everybody off the head with a chair. Obviously he didn't do any stunners because he was still a few months away from being fully recovered from his neck surgery, which is why he was gone all this time. And then at the end, you have The Rock finally win, and you kind of have that moment where Austin kind of passes the torch to The Rock, where he kind of comes out and celebrates like with him, kind of saying, "Hey, you're gonna be the guy that's gonna take this company to the next level." This was added so many elements to The Rock Triple H rivalry. It's probably one of the best main events in WWE history. So I'm going to put this match into the Hall of Fame also. I think it's just truly fantastic. And probably one of the, like I said, the best main events in company history. I just think it's truly fantastic. And, I think I talked about this. in the Backlash 1999 main event, Shane does get involved, but it's nothing egregious. This one, it's pretty much always that way. Because I even forgot to add the element too, where Linda McMahon brings out El Hebner, and he's the one that actually makes the count, which makes all the sense in the world, considering the fact that he was like fired by Triple H for doing like a fast count. So this was kind of even a nice way for him to get some revenge on the McMahon Helmsley regime. So yeah, just a massively booked match where everything was just really thought of. Then we have the Backlash 2001 main event. It's a winner take all match for the WWF Intercontinental and Tag Team Championships. The WWF Tag Team Champions, the Brothers of Destruction, putting up their titles against WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin and Intercontinental Champion Triple H. Obviously, this is like right after the first pay-per-view, after Stone Cold Steve Austin goes heel. And, you know, the build-up was like who's the most dominant tag team in the company. And Kane was coming in with a handicap because he had his arm injured and everything like that. The match is good. You know, everybody knows I like tag matches. If you watch my fantasy bookings, I always book tag matches because I just really like tag matches. You know, it's a little overbooked though. Like they have, you know, a lot of interference in the match. They really do a good job, I guess, protecting Brothers of Destruction. I never really like it too when the singles titles are defended in a tag match. So that's kind of like a little gripe I have with this. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. And then, you know, this is obviously heel Austin. I don't really like heel Austin because there's a lot of moments where he's like cowering in fear and not really choosing to fight anybody, and it just doesn't really make his character stand out at all and stuff. This is a good match though. It's very long too. Like they spend a long time dominating Kane. This match goes about, you know, the Daily Motion videos like 33 minutes when I watched it. Included entrances, and you probably cut that down. It's probably like 25 minutes, but this match does feel egregiously long. I do like the storyline they tell in the match where the Undertaker doesn't want to tag in Kane because he's been injured, but Kane kind of has this pride that he wants to go in there and fight, so that was kind of pretty good. So there's good things in the match. I'll put this in the good category. Again, it's also very overbooked, and again, it's also heel Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is terrible. Then we have the WWF. So this is from the Backlash 2002 main event. It's the WWF Undisputed Championship match. It's WWF Undisputed Champion Triple H defended against Hulk Hogan. This was kind of the Hulk Hogan comeback tour because he had just come back and he got really over at WrestleMania. So WWF capitalized on that by putting him in the main event here. And this was two baby faces, but Hogan was the one that was more popular. It's a good match, you know, good baby face versus baby face like match. They kind of make Triple H out to be kind of more so the heel, quote unquote, because you know, Hogan's just the one that's more of the fan favorite here. So this is a good match. You know, they do a lot of good moments where Triple H targets his leg and everything like that, and they kind of get some good sympathy behind Hogan. And then, you know, they kind of do the bit at the end where they have Chris Jericho and The Undertaker interfere, where they're both trying to screw over the other person. Jericho's trying to screw over Triple H because, you know, he took the title from him, and Undertaker's it's the other way around. Jericho's trying to screw over Hulk Hogan because he took his title shot, and then Undertaker's trying to screw over Triple H because he wants to face Hogan because he feels like it's an easier path since he's beaten Hogan before for the championship. And, you know, Hogan, I guess he feels is older and everything like that. And then Undertaker's the one that ends up working. But I kind of like that nobody wants to help, and at the end they kind of show respect towards each other. However, though, I just don't think this was the right decision. You know, this was kind of right after Triple H's like comeback, and it kind of felt like Hulk Hogan kind of stood in the way of that because his main event didn't get over, obviously, because it followed, you know, Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania, and then they did a lot of stupid stuff with his comeback, and then they, you know, Hogan was just approaching 50 at this point. There was really no reason for him to win the belt. I understand trying to capitalize on the popularity, but I think him winning the title um, really screwed everything up. So I'm gonna put this in the good category though, because it is a good match. Um, and the crowd does get into it when Hogan does win, so I'll put this in the good category. Um, then we have Backlash 2003. We have The Rock versus Goldberg. Goldberg had just signed with WWE not long before this, and this wasn't his first match. I think he had a couple matches in WWE, but The Rock was in here. This was the last match that The Rock would have as Hollywood Rock until really earlier this year when he had the Bloodline tag match. Um, and yeah, this match is good. You know, it gets Goldberg over. I don't really think this fit to. Um, okay, but yeah, that was just Chris. He was supposed to do this video today, but he just tell you we haven't even started yet, so I'm definitely not available. Um, but yeah, the Rock and Goldberg, like I said, this didn't really fit to Goldberg's strengths because he was kind of working a long match and he didn't really do that much in WCW. And then Hollywood Rock's entertaining here, but I don't really think this fit Goldberg's strengths. But this isn't bad, so I'll put this in the good category. It's good, but nothing really fantastic. Then we're kind of back to fantastic again. We have the from Backlash 2004. It's the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Champion Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Obviously, this is kind of a little tragic because this was in Chris Benoit's hometown, and you kind of see his wife and kid in the crowd. And if you know about the Chris Benoit tragedy, the less said about that, the better. But this was kind of when Chris Benoit was on his high after winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, and they did the rematch here, and this rematch is really fantastic. I've still have not yet been able to watch the match they had at WrestleMania, so I really can't say if this match, blew this match out of the water or anything like that. But this match is awesome. Um, they have the moment where everyone's kind of rooting for Chris Benoit, but they kind of do moments where Triple H and Shawn Michaels will kind of take out Chris Benoit before he kind of really gets any momentum going. They do some really good, perfect booking here, realizing where they were and everything like that. They basically try to recreate the Montreal Screwjob, where Shawn Michaels puts Chris Benoit in the sharpshooter, and they have Earl Hebner come out, and he kind of does like the same mannerisms and everything like that, like about to win the bell, which is just booking genius because it basically makes Shawn Michaels like the de facto heel in the match for pretty much the rest of it. You have a moment where Chris Benoit crashes and burns and lands through the announce table when he tries to go for a crossbody. No, I'm sorry, it's reverse. It's Shawn Michaels lands, and goes for a crossbody. And they have Triple H take over for a while. And then, you have the moment at the end where Chris Benoit does win with the sharpshooter, and he beats Shawn Michaels, which obviously was very poetic. And, it's right before Triple H could really make the save because he had been wiped out. So this match is awesome. I'm putting this in the Hall of Fame. I really love this triple threat match. It's fantastic. Then we have Backlash 2005. It's the World Heavyweight Championship match. World Heavyweight Champion Batista versus Triple H. Is it good? They kind of really needed to have a good match here because the match at WrestleMania really didn't live up to the hype. And this was kind of crucial because Batista was going to be the guy carrying the company for the next few months. And this was Triple H's rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. They kept building up that Triple H's pedigree was very dangerous because of the fact that, anytime he would hit it on anybody, it would typically be the finish of the match. So they kind of spent the good opening bits of the match building up to the pedigree. And Batista would try to hit his Batista bomb. But they have some good chemistry in the ring. There's a bit where Triple H spine busts Batista like into the barricade, which was pretty cool. They do a lot of good interference with Ric Flair and everything like that. And they actually do have the moment where Triple H does hit the pedigree and he has the match won, but the referee is out of it, so it doesn't happen. And then eventually Batista does win with the Batista bomb. And, obviously this set up very nicely the Hell in a Cell match. This match is good. It's better than the WrestleMania match. but I'm going to still put this in the good category. It's not a fantastic main event or everything like that, but it did the job it was necessary, kind of establishing Batista as one of the top guys in the company, which is good. So there you go. Then we have Backlash 2006. We have the triple threat match for the WWE Championship. It's WWE Champion John Cena versus Triple H versus Edge. Truly an awesome match here. You know, obviously everyone kind of had an issue with each other here because John Cena had beaten both of these guys at one point to either retain or win his title. You know, this was kind of still the early stages of John Cena and Edge's feud. Kind of the last arc of Triple H as a heel. He was kind of turning a little bit babyface because he worked a little bit more babyface than this match than you would think. You know, really a lot of great moments here. I love the moment, obviously, where John Cena and Triple H are trying to one-up each other, so they kind of continuously bounce Edge's head off the announcer's table. You know, they have the moment where Edge smashes Triple H off the skull with a steel chair, I think, and he lands over the announcer's table and just really gashes himself open. When Cena has Edge in the STF and Triple H uses a microphone to get Cena out of it. You know, you have a couple STS spots where, you know, they recreate the WrestleMania part of it, so that was good. The finish is even pretty good, you know, where Cena wins, but he just barely wins, and afterwards Triple H just wastes everybody with a sledgehammer, which I think is awesome. This is a hell of a main event. I don't think I would quite put it in the Hall of Fame. I don't think it quite lives up to the first three matches that are up there. You know, the Backlash 99 main event, 2000 and 2004. But I would still put this in the great category. It's a great main event. I'm going to put this into the great category. So I think it's a great match. The other thing that sucks about it is I don't really think Edge really does much in the match. I feel like he's just kind of there. And they kind of don't really follow up this match very well. Like, I don't really remember them doing a rematch between Cena and Triple H really after this. I think they kind of went off and turned Triple H babyface after this. So, yeah. Then we have Backlash 2007. It's the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Championship. WWE Champion John Cena versus Shawn Michaels versus Edge versus Randy Orton. This is probably the best Fatal 4-Way match that the main roster WWE has probably ever booked. Just really fantastic. Everybody in the match really made sense. You know, they do some really great stuff in this match where they have Cena and Michaels kind of go at it a lot. Shawn Michaels really wants to beat John Cena. They have Edge and Orton go at it because they had just broken up as rated RKO. But then they do the thing for a little while where they kind of work together to take out Cena and Michaels. But then eventually Edge turns on them in a very great way. And then, you know, they have a really good Tower of Doom spot. They have the great bit where Shawn Michaels hits the moonsault on everybody. And the finish is really what makes this match when everybody hits a finisher on each other. And Shawn Michaels super kicks John Cena, which kind of accidentally caused Cena to fall on Orton and pin him. And, you know, Shawn Michaels is pissed because basically he beat himself type of thing. The only thing that sucks is they never really follow up on that. They kind of, you know, don't really do much. But this is one of the best 4-way matches I've ever seen. It's truly worth the watch. I'm putting this in Hall of Fame. It's awesome. Then we have Backlash 2008. This is kind of the last of the Triple H era of Backlash, because I don't know if you can tell, Triple H kind of becomes Mr. Backlash because he's in a lot of the main events, and this is the last one that he main events. It's the Fatal 4-Way elimination match for the WWE Championship. It's Randy Orton defending the WWE Championship against JBL, Triple H, and John Cena. I still like this match. Having it be Fatal 4-Way elimination added a lot of elements to it. There's the bit where Randy Orton tries to, again, do what he did at WrestleMania, where he tries to clock JBL with the title, but this time it backfires, and Orton tries to kind of take a breather, but Cena tackles him off the chair. You have a lot of good fighting in this match with, you know, people mixing it up, and you have a really good Tower of Doom spot. There's the good bit where, you know, Triple H and Cena put Orton and JBL in the submission holds, but they have, but Orton and JBL are like kind of taunting at each other because they don't want to make the save because it's an elimination. The only thing I kind of don't like about this is I feel like the eliminations with Cena and JBL kind of happen very quickly. And so then the rest of the match is just Orton versus Triple H, which is like fine, but like then just do a one-on-one match between them and have Cena and JBL do something else, which is really weird. But you know, the stuff that Orton and Triple H do when it's just them one-on-one is very good. There's the bit where Randy Orton slingshots Triple H into the barricade and suplexes him from the crowd into the onto the floor. Um, Triple H winning was kind of whatever. I don't really think he was the guy to really dethrone Randy Orton for the belt. It's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, kind of felt like they wanted to do this at WrestleMania, but they just didn't. So I'll put this in the great category. It's a great four-way, but there's some things that kind of keep it from moving. So yeah. Then we have the from Backlash 2009. It's a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Champion John Cena versus Edge. This was the end of this rivalry. You know, obviously they've been feuded for 3 years, and this was going to be the culmination of it. And this is a fantastic last man standing match. You know, they clearly played up John Cena because he had gotten concerto by Edge before this match, so he was really doing a good job of selling those chair shots. And Edge was really targeting the head of John Cena, showing his desperation. Cena does some great stuff for this match. There's the bit where he tosses the bottom part of the steel steps right onto Edge. The bit where he AA's Edge into the crowd, and then does the bulldog to Edge onto like the equipment cases and stuff. But then the finish of the match, kind of goofy, but you know, pretty good. Where Big Show comes out and he chokeslams Cena through the spotlight, which causes him to lose. Really, really good spot there. I think this match also belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's truly a great culmination to the rivalry between Edge and Cena. The way Edge kind of wins the rivalry is pretty awesome because the way that this rivalry started was Edge was an opportunist, so it was kind of the same thing here, and it really did a great job of showing Edge's desperation to want to win this match. And again, we took a break from Backlash for a few years, and then Backlash came back. It was the first SmackDown pay-per-view after the 2016 brand split. It was, you know, the main event was the WWE World Championship match. It was WWE World Champion Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. Obviously pretty significant because this would kind of define the SmackDown era of 2016 that was kind of going on at this time. And, you know, this is when AJ Styles was really white hot. You know, he had just turned heel. He had just beaten John Cena at SummerSlam, so they kind of really needed to validate that win, so they finally did. And this match is actually, you know, very good. I really like this match. You know, they kind of show AJ Styles really kind of getting the best of Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose is kind of using his brawling style to kind of get the best of AJ Styles. Eventually, they do the bit where the referee gets distracted, so Styles low blows Ambrose, and he wins the belt with a Styles Clash. But, you know, they have some really good spots in the match, and it's just a truly great thing. I'm not going to put this in the good category. I think it definitely belongs in the great category. I think what's really great about this was a pretty significant moment because AJ Styles, you know, was not really a WWE guy. He was more the TNA New Japan guy, and it was still kind of just crazy how it was. That he won the WWE title. It got some pretty good buzz. Not great buzz, but it was a pretty surreal moment. So I'm going to put this into the great category. The fact that Styles won the title was just awesome. And this really validated Styles as like one of the top guys for WWE, still kind of to this day for the most part. So that's awesome. Then we have Backlash 2017's main event. It's the WWE Championship match. WWE Champion Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. Yeah. Terrible. I've talked about this match before, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. The only good spot in the match is when Randy Orton takes one of the Sin Brothers and he over-rotates in the back suplex, and it looked like Randy Orton like legitimately like broke his neck or something like that. But this match is just terrible. This is when Vince was trying to do the expansion to India market, and it was truly terrible. The match is just really a slog. Jinder hadn't really worked the main event style yet, and it's just absolutely terrible. I'm putting this in the trash. It's awful. Then we have from Backlash 2018, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but this is also trash. Yeah, truly awful. You know, this match wasn't the right match to main event, because obviously there was no reason for this match to main event. It was, you know, this was when the WWE Championship wasn't main evented. So everyone kind of wanted that match to main event, and it made all the sense in the world for it because there was a great story there. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot because that match had a non-finish. Well, they could have just booked that match as a non-finish, and then there was really no heat behind this match because they didn't really build it up all that much because this was right after the Greatest Royal Rumble. And Samoa Joe had just come back. He kind of needed a win. But Roman Reigns needed to win because he had just lost to Brock Lesnar a couple times at WrestleMania and the Greatest Royal Rumble. So they kind of booked themselves into a corner. Nobody was interested in this match. People just chanted CM Punk or Beat the Traffic because everyone was leaving, and you could legitimately see people leaving during this match. This match is just a slog too. It's really been a detriment to both people. This is just trash. Terrible main event. And I just think it's awful. And that's the thing, this match is so bad, it killed Backlash for a year, because they didn't do Backlash again until the next year, which would be Backlash 2020. This is in the pandemic. We have the greatest wrestling match ever between Randy Orton and Edge. And, you know, obviously this was kind of a little bit of a rib, because the WrestleMania match really didn't deliver to expectations. So they tried to do this again, and they made it a wrestling match, and they coined the phrase greatest wrestling match ever, which was really a detriment to the match, because no matter how good the match was, you know, obviously they kind of made everyone have the expectation that this was going to be the greatest wrestling match ever. And they filmed this match ahead of time. You know, they had like a lot of edits to it and everything like that, which was just insane. It is a great match. You know, they have a lot of great moments where, you know, they do a lot of good storyline elements in the match and everything like that. You know, they kind of make it look, they show that Edge could still go. They do a lot of good moments where, you know, they take from their heroes, like Edge does the kill switch in this match. Randy Orton does the pedigree. They both like steal each other's finishes at one point. And eventually I like the ending where Randy Orton wins, but he cheats to win, and obviously that was a good point because you know, Randy Orton's whole thing was he thought he was a better wrestler, but he cheated to beat Edge, and then obviously this led to Edge being injured for a while, because in real life he tore his pec in this match, redoing a spot that Vince didn't think looked good, so it caused Edge to tear his pec, which was just terrible. I will put this in the great category. I think having this be dubbed the greatest wrestling match ever kind of hurt this match a lot. And obviously, too, I think this match just lasts a very long time. It's a little bit too long. And again, it's also the pandemic. There is a crowd here, because this is when they had like the PC recruits be in the crowd. But you could just tell some of the crowd reaction was very forced. So, yeah. And a lot of Kevin Dunn jump cuts type of things. Then we have the first WrestleMania Backlash, because they decided to change it from Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash, which was just absolutely terrible. But that was the first one. It's for the WWE Universal Championship. WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. This was Cesaro's first crack at a main event pay-per-view, and a first crack at a World Championship singles, because I know he had competed for it before, like in the Rumble, and he competed for it, you know, in the ladder matches and stuff, but he had never had a one-on-one match for the world title. This is a great match, you know. They really did a great job of making Cesaro look like a really great threat to Roman Reigns, and they did a great job, you know, having Roman Reigns be the ultimate heel and everything like that. So this was just absolutely awesome. Just a great match, all things considered. It added a lot to Roman Reigns' character. The great thing about it, too, was he just wins clean. He doesn't, you know, no one interferes in the match on his behalf or anything like that, which really added to Roman Reigns' heel head of the table gimmick. So it was just absolutely awesome. I'm putting this in the great category. I even like the bit at the end where they put over the bloodline. They had Seth Rollins come out and attack him at the end of the match to kind of get Cesaro, keep him in the conversation in the main event scene. So that was great. Cesaro really showcased himself well. It's kind of too bad they don't really capitalize on this. Like, he kind of gets kicked back down to the mid-card, which kind of leads for him leaving the company. But, you know, it's still a great match at Backlash. Then we have the WrestleMania Backlash 2022 main event. It's a six-man tag team match. It's Drew McIntyre and RK Bro versus the Bloodline. I like this match, but it really shouldn't have been this match. It should have been the unification winner-take-all match between RK Bro and the Usos, but they decided not to do that last minute because Vince changed his mind. But this is still a a really great match. WWE always does six-man tag team matches very well, and you have Roman Reigns, who's like one of the masters at it since he had done it so much in the Shield days. They obviously did some great stuff, because you knew at some point we were going to get Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for the belt because Clash at the Castle was coming up, so they kind of have them mix it up, but nothing crazy. This would be Randy Orton's last pay-per-view match until Survivor Series 2023. It's just a great six-man tag all around, really great brawling and everything like that. Bloodline winner was very shocking at the time because everyone was kind of thinking that they would have the faces win without Roman Reigns taking the pin, but it really elevated the Bloodline. So I'm going to put this in the great category. It's truly a great Backlash main event. Then we have the last Backlash main event, Backlash 2023. It's Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. The biggest thing about this match is to take place in Puerto Rico, which really added to the match because the fans were really into it and everything like that. They were into about every little thing. And this was kind of a must-win for Cody, and he really needed to look good here because this was right after he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, right after he got the crap kicked out of him by Brock Lesnar on the Raw after WrestleMania. So he really needed to have a good performance, and he really needed to kind of get a win because I think a lot of us were kind of getting worried about what his stock in the company was going to be like, considering the fact that he kind of lost a lot of steam after WrestleMania, so he kind of really needed to get back on track. But also Brock needed a win also because, even though he had won at WrestleMania, he hadn't had like a big signature victory, so it was kind of a double-edged sword. Everyone was kind of speculated they were going to do the same thing they did with John Cena back at SummerSlam, where Brock was going to wreck Cody to kind of continue his thing. But what they did, I thought, was even better. They had Cody and Brock like brawl before the match, and Cody gets the best of him, and then Brock gets the best of him. But then towards the end, Cody exposes the buckle and sends Brock into it. And then while Brock has him in the Kimura, Cody rolls him up and gets the win. And he gets a cheap victory, and it kind of leads you on in some more. Like, you got a little bit of a match, but not much of a match. And I kind of liked, that, like, Cody messes up Brock pretty well in this match. Like, it's not just like Brock dominates him the whole time and then Cody gets a lucky win. Like, no, Cody kind of showed that he could hang with Brock Lesnar if he really wanted to. The only thing that sucks about this match is it was the one match that main event the show. It should have been Damian Priest and Bad Bunny because they had like a Puerto Rico street fight on this show, and Bad Bunny was like the hometown crowd, or the hometown favorite. And that match really kills the crowd a little bit. The crowds are still pretty into this match, but not as much as they would have been. They probably should have put this match where that match was and had that match be the main event. But this is still a really great main event. I'm going to put this in the great category. Really was a great moment for Cody Rhodes and everything like that. So now that I've kind of done all this stuff, we're going to kind of, I'm going to go through each tier, and I'm going to kind of decide what's the best of each tier. And yeah, just gonna kind of decide that. From left to right, left is the best, right's the worst, I believe is how I've been doing it. So let me just double check to make sure. That's how I've been doing it, just because I kind of forget sometimes. Just want to make sure. That's how I've been ranking these. Just gonna watch one of my own videos real quick. Yeah, left's the worst, and right's the best. That's how I thought I had it. So I'm just going to kind of go through this. I'll go through each tier. I'm going to do the trash tier second to last. I'll do the good tier first, and then the great tier. And I always like to do the trash and Hall of Fame tier because those are the harder decisions. So if I'm going through good tier, really kind of a tough one to kind of pick out because you have to kind of pick the best of the best. I might kind of leave everything as it is. I definitely think the tag match at Backlash 2001 is worse than Triple H versus Hulk Hogan, just because of the fact that the tag match of 2001 was just kind of WWE really being out of touch with what everyone wanted with the Austin heel turn, and it just really annoys me. So I'm gonna kind of leave that where it is, and also just lasts a little bit too long. But I am gonna move the Goldberg Rock match to the left just because it wasn't really a good showcase for Goldberg, and it's just kind of a good match. But I definitely think out of the everything in the good category, Triple H and Batista is probably the best match out of all of it. Just because I think everything that happens in this match is still good, but everything's done right. So there you go. I'm probably gonna make some changes to the great category. I'm definitely gonna move the Fatal 4-Way match for Backlash 2008, maybe up there, because I think the Triple Threat match in 2006 is a little bit better. Even though I like probably 2006 main event better than the 2016 main event, I am going to kind of leave the 2016 at the moment where it is, just because it has that moment where AJ Styles was the WWE World Championship for the first time, so I like that. I think it is a better match than the greatest wrestling match ever, despite the tagline. And I do think the Backlash 2006 match is better than the greatest wrestling match ever. And I think but I do think the greatest wrestling match ever is better than the Backlash 2008 main event. So I'm going to kind of keep that where it is. I would say Ambrose and Styles is better than Roman Reigns and Cesaro. Just because I think, it has that moment. If Roman Reigns and Cesaro had not happened in the Thunderdome, I would probably move it. But I do think Roman Reigns and Cesaro is better than the Backlash 2006 Triple Threat match. As for the 6-man tag at WrestleMania Backlash 2022, I don't think it's better than the Backlash 2016 main event, and I don't think it's better than the WrestleMania Backlash 2021 main event, and I don't think it's better than the Backlash 2006 main event, but I do think it's better than the greatest wrestling match ever. And I would probably say that out of all of the ones that are in the great category, that Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar probably belongs where it is. I don't think it's better than the Backlash 2006 main event, and I don't think it's better. But I'm sorry, I do think it's better than the Backlash 2006 main event. So I think everything's kind of fine where it is. Now I'm gonna go through the tiers I haven't done yet. The trash tier is really tough. There's only a couple matches in there, but I think I'm gonna keep that where it is. I feel like even though Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns sucks, I think it's Jinder and Randy is significantly worse, just because out of that we got Jinder Mahal's terrible WWE title run, and it kind of like really snowballs kind of the death of the 2016 SmackDown like era that everybody really loved. So I'm gonna kind of keep that where it is. And then as for the Hall of Fame category, I think out of all of them, I think John Cena and Edge is as great as it isn't as great as all of those matches in there. So I'll kind of keep that. I'll kind of move that over to the left. I think then it would be the Triple Threat match. Then it would be the Fatal 4-Way match, and then it would be the Backlash 1999 main event and the Backlash 2000 main event. Yeah, all of that stuff's truly tough to tell, but I think that's kind of where I would rank them. So I'll kind of go through it from bottom to top one more time. So for trash, it goes the WWE Championship match from Backlash 2017, and then it's the Backlash 2018 main event between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Nothing in the average category, which I think it's the first. It's the first time I've ever left the average category like blank, so that's pretty cool. And then for the good category, it goes the Backlash 2001 main event, the Backlash 2003 main event, then the Backlash 2002 main event, and then the Backlash 2005 main event. And then for the great category, it's the Backlash 2008 Fatal 4-Way Elimination main event, the greatest wrestling match ever, the 6-man tag at WrestleMania Backlash 2022, the Backlash 2006 main event, the WrestleMania Backlash 2021 main event, the Backlash 2016 main event, and then the Backlash 2023 main event. And then for Hall of Fame, it's the Last Man Standing match at Backlash 2009, the triple threat match at Backlash 2004, the Backlash 2007 main event, and then the Backlash 1999 main event, and then the Backlash 2000 main event is probably the best out of all of them. So that's kind of where I would rank everything. So that's going to be locked in pretty much. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys all enjoy Backlash tomorrow. It should be a really good pay-per-view. And as for all the stuff you can check out, definitely check out Brand Supremacy. We've been doing that a lot. I have to still edit the next episode. We're supposed to do a WWE Aftershock on Monday. It's going to be Steve Coakley, potentially Chris Dodd, and I. We're going to cover what we think of the draft, what we think of WWE Speed, since that's been kind of going on recently, and then we're going to review Backlash and Spring Breakin'. And then we're supposed to do some more tier lists at some point. There's a channel update video you can just watch about the ones you can expect to come up at some point. And then as for on the Talkinator, AJ and I have some videos planned. We have some non-wrestling videos planned. We're going to continue reviewing Yellow Jackets. We just did episode 3. We did that. I uploaded it yesterday, but we recorded it like Tuesday, I think. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty much it. And I'll talk to you guys later.